Now I would like to welcome Lama Aggad to come forward and have a seat at the presentation desk. I'll be timing your delegation and will give you a wave when there's 1 minute remaining. You are allowed up to 5 minutes for your delegation. Please begin when you're ready.
Hello. Can I move this? No. Okay. Hello, everybody. Thank you very much for allowing me to speak. It's a pleasure to be here. It's the first time I speak in this board, and I am here to address some concerns. I didn't really prepare some speech, but I did write some notes. And I am here to help you understand the concerns of our community. As well, we want to understand how we can work together to help change the bylaws and the policies to help protect our students. So I'll start by saying that my name is Lama Aggad. I am the president of the Multicultural Community Association. I also live in Ward 6 in Oakville. My brother, near Iroquois Ridge, and my brother actually one of the graduates of Iroquois Ridge School. So we have a lot of history in Ward 6. I have a lot of history in Oakville. I've been here for 25 years. And I would love for my ward and for the school to always send positive, not to send so much negative of what happened last week. I also have to say that I am one of those who has been subjected to systematic attacks. I don't know why I'm crying, but I've been called an anti-Semite numerous times. I am someone in media. I've been combating all forms of racism, especially the faces of anti-Semitism, but I've still been targeted systematically. I've been called an extremist anti-Semite. I've been attacked. My career has been attacked. And when I saw that incident, it brought back a lot of pain, because there are times during COVID, I felt the pain and the depression I went through because of these attacks, where I felt that my life is not worth it. And I wanted to find ways, how can I end my life? And when I saw that student, I'm like, I don't want the students to go through this, because the second day, someone can mock him and call him a terrorist. Someone can mock him of what he wears. I don't even know who that student is, but I just felt the pain of what systematic targeting is, and we've gone through that a lot for the past years, just because we support human rights in Palestine. So, and that's the reason why I spoke to the school board trustee, Tanya, and I really wanted to address those concerns. How can we end these systematic attacks? How can we end the Zionist lobby from bullying our politicians, bullying our teachers, bullying everybody in public, which resulting in bullying us in return? I want you all to understand that our community is hurting. There's 40,000 deaths being killed, slaughtered in Gaza. Our community has been bullied by their chants. Now they're not allowed to say from the river to the sea, Palestine will be free. They have their Keffiyeh, which I am wearing today, and I wore it for a reason, and I wore every single symbol that can show my support to Palestine, because I want to know if I am intimidating anybody. Their pieces of clothing is being banned in the Queen's Park. Their protest has been targeted, and all the demands is end this war. And now when they're showing support, some people have no problem to come to a student and tell him, you look like a terrorist. This needs to end. I just want you guys to understand something about our community, the Middle Eastern. I come from Jordan. I am Jordanian. My father was born in Jordan. And my grandfather was expelled from Palestine in 1948, and he moved to Jordan. So our roots come from Palestine. So I want you to understand something about us Arabs, even the people in the crowd, if there's anybody from the Arab. We as Arabs, and I think that's only in our countries, even though I am Jordanian, but I am also Lebanese, I am also Syrian, I am also Saudi, I am also Qatari. Every single country that speaks Arabic represents me. If any country from my neighboring Jordan is hurt or there's a devastating something happening there, catastrophe, we all come together as communities. And this is something that I think the West doesn't understand about us. They keep saying that we don't support each other. It's not true. The Egyptians are supporting Palestinians, the Syrians, the Iraqis, the Muslim, the Pakistani, and the Canadian public. And that's why you see them every weekend, thousands and thousands of people are there calling for the end of this devastating war, calling for the end of this massacres and the genocide that is happening in Gaza. And we also need to understand that these students and these people here in Canada, they have families in Gaza. They are seeing their families being killed. They are seeing their homes being killed. They are mentally exhausted, financially exhausted. They are traumatized. And now we have politicians, employees traumatizing them further without any shame. So I have two demands, and on behalf of myself and my community. The employee who went after that student to be terminated immediately.
You can't speak about the employee.
Okay, but we demand that when actions like these happen, to be terminated immediately, because if this action was...
You can't speak about employees.
Not even in general.
No, I'm sorry, you can't.
Okay. We know that at the beginning of this war, there's an incident with Air Canada where someone was called as an anti-Semite. He was terminated immediately without even putting into investigation. The other demand is we need to implement a strategy for anti-Palestinianism, aka anti-Palestinian racism. There's a strategy for Islamophobia. There's a strategy for anti-Semitism, but there's nothing for anti-Palestinian racism. And I think it's very important to differentiate anti-Palestinianism from Islamophobia, because Palestinians are Christians and they're Muslims also. And now every pro-Palestinian person from Canada is subjected to being targeted, to being called an anti-Semite. At the end of the day, we are all Canadians. We want to work together. We are Canadian first. And we are seeing that one side is being protected, the other is not. So thank you so much for allowing me to speak. I apologize. I became emotional. I have no idea how, but I hope I can be a source where I can mediate between the board and our community to help implement laws that can protect our students. I don't want to see this happening again in Oakville. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Lama. And I would ask the gallery to please refrain from making noise. Are there any questions from trustees? I did allow you extra time, Lama.
Thank you so much.
And I appreciate everything that you said and the emotion that you feel. This is a trying time for everyone, and we all just want peace. So
and I want all communities to be protected.
Yeah.
The Jewish, the Muslim, the Christian,
Yes.
the Sikh, the Hindu, everybody. We are all Canadians. We want protection for all.
Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. Appreciate it.
Oh, I'm sorry. I'm sorry, Trustee
Ahmed.
Ahmed. I didn't see you ring in.
Thank you, Lama.
You're
Thank you
welcome.
very much for taking out time and coming here. For sure, as you said, showing where you come from, you said that you're wearing every symbol of your ethnicity. You have every right to do that because it's protected ground. Citizenship, ethnic origin, ancestry, and also place of origin. These are protected grounds. Everybody has the right to express that, and anybody stops anyone from expressing that is actually breaking the law. So, thank you.
I also just want to say that my career also has been targeted, and everybody is scared to even defend their employees.
I
And I don't want to see that
remind
student going through
trustees that they're not to ask questions of the delegate because the delegate has completed the delegation and they're not supposed to speak any further. Yes, I said that backwards. Trustee Rocha.
Through the chair, to you, Lama. I don't have any questions, but I do want to thank you for coming tonight and speaking your truth and being so vulnerable with us, because being emotional in public is always difficult. So I want to thank you for that.
Thank you. I see no other speakers on the list. Thank you again for coming. I'd now like to invite Ibrahim Baig to come forward. Good evening, Ibrahim. I will be timing your delegation and will give you a wave when there's 1 minute left. You are allowed up to 5 minutes for your delegation. Please begin when you're ready.
It's a pleasure to be here, and like Lama, I'm also representing the Muslim and the Palestinian community in Halton. I do have a written speech, so I'll be mostly reading out from whatever I have written. I'll be delegating on agenda item 4.1.1, Human Rights Obligations and Strategies for Compliance Professional Development, Report 24066, Trustees Professional Development Planning Standing Committee. Under this item, to begin professional learning in the multi-year plan key area of equity and inclusion, trustees approved the engagement of an external legal professional to provide an overview of the obligations of school boards under human rights legislation. A 2-hour virtual session will be held, which will cover 5 topics, one of which will be issues of freedom of expression and association, anti-Semitism, Islamophobia, hate speech, defamation, and harassment in relation to current events. Under the roles and responsibilities of a school board trustee, as stated in the on the HDSB website, the Board of Trustees is a corporate body responsible for the organization's success in terms of its purpose, and it ensures this success by providing oversight, direction setting, and decision-making through a governance process. It is imperative that the members of this board are equipped with knowledge, resources, and understanding of the equity and inclusion and human rights obligations. As organizational policies flow from top to bottom, the importance of well-trained trustees becomes even more pronounced. Incompetence and failure at lower levels often stem from inadequacy at the leadership level. An example of it was what we observed in an Oakville school, where a counselor likened a student to terrorists simply because he was wearing a keffiyeh.
Please refrain from speaking about employees.
Okay.
Thank you.
As you, trustees, embark on this important training, I would like to give following suggestions. I request you to consider these suggestions not only as trustees, but also as parents and humans yourselves, as some of you or most of you would be parents as well. During your training, please ask the legal human rights professional as to how you would respond to the parents of a child who was called a terrorist for simply wearing a piece of cloth, a cultural symbol, and heritage signature. His pride, self-esteem, and ego faced a crushing blow when someone who was supposed to be his counsel and support.
I'm sorry, Ibrahim, you cannot speak about a staff member.
So can I say when a person?
It
Okay.
alludes to being a staff member. You cannot do that.
He's not indicating to a specific person.
I'm sorry, sir, you're not allowed to speak from the gallery, and you are not allowed to say anything that might identify an individual, and
Okay.
that will definitely identify an individual.
When his appearance was regarded as reminiscent of terrorists, his sense of belonging and identity were denounced, demeaned, and slandered when he was slapped with a racist, stereotypical, and supremacist rant. His confidence was made to shatter, and his innocence was questioned. During your training, please ask the legal human rights professional how you should deal with members of the community who are facing and going through an extremely difficult time as their relatives, family members, friends, and loved ones are being bombed, slaughtered, starved, and killed, day in and day out. During your training, please ask the legal human rights professional, in your position as a trustee, how would you uphold human rights and sympathize with the parents of students who feel deserted, isolated, and left alone? How would you help a parent whose son comes to him and asks, Papa, do we really belong here? Papa, are we not humans? Papa, why the flag in my classroom does not have Palestine on it? During your training, please ask the legal human rights professional how you would decolonize the curriculum as stated under priority 1.1 of the multi-year plan, while failing to stand against a genocidal colonial regime. We must not forget that global events have local impacts on the well-being of the communities residing in Halton and in Canada. During your training, please ask the legal human rights professional that without recognizing and commemorating all the genocides that have happened in this world, including the Nakba Day in 1948, which is regarded as the day of mass destruction, killing, and displacement of the Palestinian population, which was indigenous to their homeland. During your training, please ask the legal human rights professional if human rights are a privilege for some or a necessity for all humans. Thank you.
Thank you very much. And I will remind the gallery to please be quiet. Are there any questions for the delegate? Trustee Shuttleworth.
Thank you. Thank you, Ibrahim, for your delegation. I'm wondering if we will be provided with a written copy to have your requests with us when we undertake our training.
Yeah, for sure.
Thank you.
Are there any other questions for the delegate? Seeing none, I wish to thank you very much for your impassioned plea on behalf of people from Palestine. I understand your concerns, and we will do everything we can to ensure that all students in the Halton District School Board and staff members in the Halton School Board feel welcome and safe and are able to learn and work in peace. Oh, okay. There you go again, Naveed. You snuck in there. Trustee Ahmed.
Thank you very much for coming here and delegating today, and definitely made some good points, and we'll make sure that you ask trainer those questions. At the same time, I just wanted to make it clear that HDSB dress code does not have anything in it that forbids wearing of keffiyeh. So wearing keffiyeh in schools is perfectly okay as per the HDSB dress code.
On the same note, like if you do not have anything against wearing a keffiyeh, so then again, I I don't know how to describe my feelings without, even referring to the person. Like I heard you cannot name the person, but I cannot even refer the person. But what I'm trying to say is, if you do not have anything of that sort in your policy, then why did it happen? Then you should ask yourselves, and as the board members, and also secondly, that since it has happened, like, what actions would you be taking? Would you be terminating the person? Is there any disciplinary
I'm sorry,
procedure?
you can't speak about the employee, sir. I'm very, very sorry. And I understand that you have questions.
I really wish that the employee
Sir?
was an alien, so that, I could at least express my feelings.
Yes.
Because, like, okay,
Sir,
not
your time did expire.
Okay.
And I'm very sorry, but I can't allow you to speak about any employees. That is a human resources matter, and that is all that I can say about it. Okay, I'm very sorry. I understand your concern and why you're upset about this. I really do. But we cannot discuss human resources issues in public. Thank you. We are now up to section 4, items for ratification action. 4.1, 4.1.1, human rights obligations and strategies for compliance professional development. Report 24066, submitted by Trustees PD Planning Standing Committee, and I'll read the motion. Be it resolved that the Board of Trustees enter into a contract with Raj Anand to facilitate professional development on human rights obligations and strategies for compliance, as outlined in Report 24066 at a cost not to exceed $4,000 plus HST, which will be funded by the Trustees Prior Term Reserve account. Trustee Baxter, would you make this motion?
Yes, please.
Trustee Ahmed, would you second?
Yes, Chair, I would.
Thank you. Trustee Baxter, would you like to speak to this report?
Thank you. Through you, the chair. This report outlines the PD session that the committee has designed to answer the motion, I think it was a meeting or two ago, that trustees approved to embark on some professional development in 2024. One of the priorities that was highlighted by trustees was the area of human rights and equity, and so this is one session to get us started on that road. So I'm happy to take any questions or any other members of the committee, of course, if there are any. Thank you.
Thank you. Are there any questions regarding this motion? Trustee Shuttleworth.
Thank you, through you, Chair. To Trustee Baxter, not a question, but just a thank you. So I have had dealings with Mr. Anand before, never in person, so I'm quite excited if he's coming in. No, he's not? Okay. All right. Thank you, though. But I'm excited for it. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Trustee Rocha.
Yeah, through you, Chair, to Trustee Baxter and the PD committee. Thank you for putting this together. Based on what we heard tonight from the two delegates and looking at the items that we hope to cover with Mr. Anand, I'm wondering if he would be open to include some anti-Palestinian training as part of that evening's session.
Sorry. Do you want me to? Yeah, sorry. Thank you for the question through the chair. So part of the package, the PD package that Mr. Anand is offering is the opportunity for all trustees to provide questions or issues that they would like him to address specifically. The intention, the outline is a general outline based on his experience in giving this type of training, but he did express a desire to tailor it to the needs of trustees of this board. So absolutely, we will probably lean on Carolina, as always, to coordinate gathering of input prior to the session so that we can ensure that it answers all the questions that trustees have. So thank you.
Thank you. We have exhausted our speakers list unless Trustee Ahmed wanted to ring in at the last second. And so I will set the voting up. Please cast your votes. Thank you. That is unanimous. Thank you very much. The next item on our agenda is 4.1.2, follow-up regarding 3-month trial meeting schedule and proposed 2024-2025 Board and Committee of the Whole meeting schedule, Report 24064, submitted by Manager Khan. And I will put the motion on the floor, and it's a long one, so bear with me. Be it resolved that the Halton District School Board extend its meeting schedule trial to 1 board meeting and 1 committee of the whole meeting per month until January of 2025, as outlined in Report 24064. Be it further resolved that a report regarding the feasibility of continuing a monthly meeting frequency of 1 board and 1 committee of the whole board meeting be presented to the Board of Trustees by January of 2025. And be it further resolved that the board meeting public session start time be changed to 6 p.m. as outlined in Report 24064. Be it further resolved that the Board and Committee of the Whole regular meeting schedule for May and June of 2024 be amended as outlined in Report 24064. Be it further resolved that the regular meeting day of Board and Committee of the Whole meetings be changed to Tuesdays, as outlined in Report 24064. And be it further resolved that the 2024-2025 Board and Committee of the Whole regular meeting schedule from September 2024 to January 2025 be adopted as outlined and appended to Report 24064. And I believe that Report 24064 is now emblazoned upon my forehead. Trustee Amos, would you make this motion?
Yes, please.
Vice Chair Oliver, would you second this motion?
I'll second the motion.
Thank you. Manager Khan, would you like to speak to this report?
Thank you through you, Chair. As trustees are aware, we had a great discussion at the last Committee of the Whole meeting with respect to all of the recommendations in this follow-up report. Hopefully this report is a summary of everything that the trustees discussed and were in agreement with, but so I won't go into the report any further, but if you have any questions, I'm happy to answer.
Trustee Rocha. Oh, that was from the last list. I'm sorry, I will reset. Is there anyone who wishes to speak to this motion? Seeing none, I will set us up for voting. Please cast your votes. Thank you very much. That passes unanimously.